a poster child for being homeless, high school dropout, and doing what I needed to do to improve myself to get to this point. I will go down in history as one of the greatest to ever do it. Why? Not because I was the greatest when I started, but because I started with asking a series of questions, and all of those questions led me to where I am today. The end of the earth or God come, whatever happens, I die, I truly believe that I will continue to be able to make money and make impact because I am what I say I am.
Well, look, I want to jump straight in and pay special homage to Dee. Like, I had zero idea how instrumental y'all's relationship was in getting you from where you were to where you are. Talk to me a little bit about Dee and the importance of her relationship with you.
He said, talk to you. I don't know if we got enough time to do that. That relationship circles back, to 1986. But I will say this, man, I've been on this heavy. Usain Bolt, did something that was super unique. I grew up, watching the Olympics, track and field especially, bro. We had that joke on lockdown.
Yeah.
So you talk about the 80s, Carl Lewis, Michael Johnson, FloJo, Jackie Carter, whatever. She was like, bruh, the Olympics, we was about to, there's no way in track and field you're going to be able to. And this dude, Bolt, came in, and not only was he able to compete with us, and dominate, eventually the Jamaican men start rolling with my man, and boom, before you know it, they was competing. Then before you know it, the women start practicing with him. And now the women, the last one, the women won gold, silver, and bronze. You know what I'm saying? Which is almost unbelievable. And so what I tell people is, it really matters who you yoke with. It really matters who you create a bond with, the circle that you're in. It really matters. And that the very first person, from the time I left home and I was homeless, that was my Usain Bolt, was Dee.
Yeah.
Dee was the first person in my life that was like, yo, you got a chance to be great, but not as you are. You feel me? Like the version you are, you're not gonna be great, but you got the potential. And if you let me, I'm going to single-handedly, give you every resource, give you all of me, love you. And man, it's just, when I think about like an earthly relationship, man, it's crazy that a person would literally sacrifice their all. And listen to me, Dee went to college. Dee went and got her nursing degree, became a registered nurse, in 4 years. So I don't mean gave up, she didn't have her own dreams and goals. Yeah. But as she was doing her thing, she was like, any resource that I have, anything that I have, including not cheerleading for you, but being your Phil Jackson, anything I could do to help take you to that next level, I'm committed to doing, bro. And so it's just been a crazy, crazy relationship. I'm grateful. And I'm nobody's ever done that before, but they really do owe, anybody that's ever been blessed by me, really do owe good things.
Well, that was one of the biggest takeaways, So first of all, I absolutely love this, dude. I've gone through like 3 of these highlighters. So I've got a lot going on there, but one of the things that really stuck out to me is, I'm on a similar journey. So it's not often that I get to have somebody else on the other side who's also been homeless, who's also had to fight back, who's also had to grind, who's also had to figure stuff out on their own, who's also had to go and figure out who their niche people are, who's also got to figure out, all right, who is safe to be around, who's not safe to be around, and all this kind of stuff. And, my wife struggles from a pretty serious health concern herself, and she's in the process of healing, thank God. But it's interesting that she has been my rock solid for as long as I can remember, including telling me hey, don't mess with that person. They're bad news. Don't go over it. Don't do this deal. Bad news. And every single time I go against it, it costs me $50,000 every time.
Every time. Hey, I feel you 1000%. And I really think that's the area that I had to grow most in. Yeah. From 16 to up to now is trusting. Yeah. Dee, when she says that, and I don't know if it's trust now. Like you said, I got burned so much. I'm just like, yo,
just like whatever you say, I'm doing it.
Whatever you say, you're better at it than I am. But honestly, man, I woke up this morning, man, so discouraged, and not in a not in a, woe is me and woe is life, but I just have so many young people that I'm talking to, maybe middle-aged people who think money is the key to everything.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's just like, bruh, if you could understand that there's a formula to success, and if you could stop trying to create your own,
Yeah.
feel me? Like, stop trying to create your own. Like,
Yeah.
God has blessed us. It's already here. The secret to success is already among us. And so, with Didi, that was one of the things that I could have been successful faster, but it was always fighting her and fighting truth and fighting what's right, because I had my own plans and my own way of wanting to do stuff. And I'm just to be real, bro, it wasn't even working. Like my way, you can read the book.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't working, bro. But for some reason, I was married to my way and married to this how I do stuff. And even though I was losing, I still felt like, well, it's all right because it's me. And I remember getting to a point of surrender. And every successful person gets to a point of surrender. Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike didn't want to lift weights. Phil Jackson was like, bro, I'm going to be real with you. The Pistons is killing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and your frame is not going to take you to an NBA final. Like, you're scoring 60-some points. Like, you're not about to win no finals doing that. And so even Michael Jordan had to submit and surrender. As I watched The Last Dance, a part of success is surrender. Kobe was like, get Phil Jackson out of here. I can do this by myself. And he never won a championship without Phil Jackson. He begged for him to come back, and he won 2. Like, how many could he have won if Phil would have stayed there? And so I need people to hear what I'm saying. A major part of you being successful is not just chasing money. It is surrendering to what's right or what's better, even though you didn't come up with it, even though you didn't think about it, even though it may not make sense to you. Man, the truth is the truth. A formula is please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. I promise you it still works, parentheses. You know what I'm saying? Exponent. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's still multiplication, the big, like, it still works to this day. And that was one of the things when I think about Didi, as you talk about your wife, I had to get to a point where it's like, yo, E.T., right is right, surrender, relinquish your power, relinquish your control to the formula, and stop fighting the formula. And the formula will, you put the right stuff in, you're going to get the formula's going to get you success, bro.
Well, the crazy part, I think so many of us, and I was in this camp for a long time, is like chasing success itself ended up leading me empty. However, when I started putting excellence behind the service of others, all of a sudden success started chasing me. How did that shape up in your life?
Steve, it's the same thing you said, man. I got to a point where, and I was fortunate, because I went to a university, Oakwood College at that time. It's a university now. And the environment itself, it was what you would call like a Christian school, if you will. And again, formula, what they taught us was become, do, and have. Right. So I was in a culture that didn't promote getting first and having. So, still I got to grow up, because the way I grew up before I got in that culture was, everybody on the block with money must be, it was just the lifestyles of the rich and famous. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't have internet, social media. We didn't have that. So Robert Leach was the only time you could see the rich and famous. But it was like the lifestyles of the rich and famous. You're like, yo, it seemed like everybody with money must be. And so there's a part of you that believes that lie. And so there's a part of you that believes that lie. And because you believe that lie, you are actually trying to do the thing that you believe. But then the university was like, yo, bro, that's not how it works. Like, the people who have, honestly, and have it the right way are the people who become. And then based on their values, they do certain things. And then based on that, like you said, they're not chasing anything. Everything begins to chase them. Why? Bro, I tell people I never got no money problems. Why? I am who I have created who I am. So whatever people think about me, there is a brand of me that is a giver. I have a experience. I have knowledge. I have wisdom. I am professional development. Like, I don't do professional development. I am a poster child for being homeless, high school dropout, and doing what I needed to do to improve myself to get to this point. So I don't need to practice. I don't need to read something. I am now walking, breathing, living professional development. So of course I would get opportunities to come and develop people. And of course I would pay a lot of money. So I do see a lot of people that are like, I'm gonna wear a hat like E. I'm gonna wear a t-shirt like E. I'm gonna scream in the camera like E. And I'm gonna be E.T. And I'm like, bro, about that. I became this organically.
Yeah.
I didn't chase this. I transformed into this.
Yeah.
And as a result of this, I believe until the end of the earth or God come, whatever happens, I die, I truly believe that I will continue to be able to make money and make impact because I am what I say I am.
Yeah, man. Dude, it's so good. It's crazy to me how our stories are very similar, but also very different in action. Yeah. I'm a big believer that principles govern promises, right? And if you're going to get somewhere, you got to follow specific principles to get there. And as I've been going through the book, I'm like, you can see it like really clearly that not only did you go through the transformational process, not only did you get in the radical honesty, not only did you become transparent with yourself and the people that loved you, but it's a proven process to say anybody can do it if they'll do the stinking work. If they'll just do the work, anybody can do it. And one of the things that I love, I jotted this down. You are the only person who determines your value in a world that everybody else is chasing value from 10 different other ways. Talk to me, bro.
Yeah. Man, I can't say no names, but I'll just say somebody that I love truly. I told him the other day, I was like, yo, I quit. I've done everything I could possibly do for you, and it's not working. And I'm not upset. I'm not mad. I've just done everything I know. We've tried everything we could possibly do. We've done it. And it seems like it's hurting you more than it's helping you. And I said, this is why. Because you don't know your value. You don't know your worth. And so what you're actually doing, as powerful as you are, you're actually going to other humans for your self-worth when your self-worth is already inside. So you can't find it because you're looking in the wrong places.
Yeah.
Like you can't find your value because you outside looking for your value. I don't know if you heard this story. I'm sure you heard this story. It must have been Napoleon Hill that told it to somebody. Maybe it was Think and Grow Rich. I read Dennis Kimbro's version, Think and Grow Rich, a Black choice, but he mirrored it after Napoleon Hill. So I'm sure it came from there. And it was a story of the dude who was just super frustrated, wanted to be rich and, wanted to have the world. So he left his crib and searched for it, couldn't find it, sold his house for pennies. A dude moved into his house, went to the backyard, started digging up for some reason and found gold. You know what I'm saying? And the dude was like, hey, bro, thank you for selling me the crib, bro. I'm filthy rich. Like, what you mean you filthy rich? Like, yo, bro, all them diamonds you left me in the backyard, bro. Muchos gracias, bro. I appreciate you, man. Yeah. My man was sick. He was sick to death. Like, yo, I spent everything I had searching for greatness when greatness was in my own backyard. And so I'm saying, to everybody out there that once you realize your value and once you realize who you are and what you have to give to the earth, and once you realize it's not extrinsic, it's intrinsic. Oh man, once you realize who you are and what you're capable of doing and how the world needs the version of you that's your greatest version, then you stop chasing. And I'm telling y'all, the Mona Lisa, you'd be shocked. If you've ever gone to see the Mona Lisa in person, it's a long, long line. You'd be shocked. That joke about, I'm talking about that joke. and everybody's going to see it. And there are 3,000 other pieces. And people are looking at those pieces, but standing in line for the Mona Lisa. And the Mona Lisa is worth, I don't know how much it's worth. But if you saw the actual Mona Lisa, it would blow your mind.
Yeah.
But it's not the size that matters. Yeah. It's not how many other pieces are in that art museum. It does not matter. The Mona Lisa is valued and it's valuable. Yeah. And because it's valued and it's valuable, people are willing to spend thousands of dollars to come just to look at it. And I'm telling you, what you want externally, if you knew who you were internally, I promise y'all it would come to you. And the book, You Owe You, is about you owe it to you to see your value, to see your worth, and stop asking other people to see your value and see your worth.
Well, and the other thing too, I think is important for people to know is other people are not going to see your value that God put in you. Like my father, straight out of the gate, long time ago, said, Scoggins don't get ahead, they get by. You know, we grew up in a white trailer park, right? So barely getting by, lights getting shut off, roaches everywhere, and stuff like that. And I believed that lie for a good 4 or 5 years before my first mentor ever stepped up and helped me. You know what I'm saying? And then you mentioned something else in the book that I just thought was profound, which is the untangling the dynamics of your family and kind of where you came from. How does that, because I feel like a lot of us are living somebody else's life based on what our family said we should be doing. So talk to me.
Bruh, I promise you, I always tell people, like, why Michigan and not Miami? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, how we getting Michigan? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cold. It's how we get to Chicago. It's freezing. It's cold. Like, we live in the Midwest, bro. It's terrible in January, February. Everybody watch the snow of Christmas. Don't believe the hype. It's cold. Where there's snow, there is cold. And let me tell you something. One day I woke up and was like, for real, y'all think I'm playing? I was like, why am I in Michigan? How did this happen? And it happened because my grandma, you know, who was in Alabama at that time, smart move on her behalf. She actually was like, we don't want to do sharecropping no more. We want to go up north and see if we can find, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't mad at grandma, but somebody didn't ask the same question grandma asked. Grandma's like, yo, this sharecropping ain't working. We're going to go up north. So I guess every generation was just like, whatever grandma did, that's what we own. I'm like, oh no, I'm about to start talking. I'm about to start thinking like grandma, why am I here? And so when I start thinking about why do I live in Michigan, I went to Alabama. Where grandma left, I went to and got transformed there. And then when I came back to Michigan, I was like, no, bro, I'm going to get a crib in California. I'm going to San Diego. Like, I'm going to stay the winter sometimes in Miami. Like the United States of America, bro. You ever been to the Carolinas, bro? Like, you ever been to North Carolina? The trees, the green. Like, bro, you don't got to leave America. I'm just being 1,000 with you. I've been all around the world. But you don't got to leave America, bro, to go wild. And so for me, it was, okay, well, if you questioning, why do you live here? Well, question, why are we middle class? And why do we believe that hard work is the way to, and why don't we believe in entrepreneurship? And why don't, you know what I'm saying? I just started asking a bunch of questions. It's like, okay, I see why grandma did that. Okay, but why did my aunts and uncles, okay, why didn't we go to school? Okay, why didn't we go get degrees? Okay, why didn't we go get certificates? Okay, why didn't we go to conferences? Okay, why wasn't we heard nothing about audiobooks? Like, why didn't people talk about mentors and getting mentored? Like, okay, hold up, something wrong. Okay, cool. Grandma did what she had to do. It seemed like this generation wasn't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, it seemed like whatever grandma did, that's what they was on. Grandma moved into the projects. A lot of my aunts, uncles in the project. Nothing wrong with that. But I was like, yo, somebody got to start questioning. Somebody got to start questioning. Why, like, if the American dream is this, why are we just getting a little small piece of it? And I start questioning it. And as I start coming up with questions, I start coming up with solutions. And I start asking people like yourself, Stephen. I start asking people like you, hey, why is this? And why is this? And why is this? And people like you start saying, hey, E, maybe you think that, and maybe you need to think that. And bro, we were just talking the other day. He was like, you probably need to do this. And E, did you ever call this person? And E, what about that? And I'm telling you, everything you said, I've already done.
I don't doubt it a bit in the world.
It's already been done. And so I just think many of us settle. We take what has been given to us and be grateful for whatever's been given to you. Like, I ain't mad at my grandma. It ain't my grandma's responsibility for me to get to California or for me to get to Miami. She don't owe me that. I owe that to myself. But to your point, it started with not settling, but it started with being curious. It started with exploring. It started with seeking. And before you knew it, boom, here I am.
Yeah.
I will go down in the Hall of Fame with whatever speakers, like whatever the Les Browns, whatever Ziggs, whatever, Tony, whatever. I will go down in history as one of the greatest to ever do it. Why? Not because I was the greatest when I started, but because I started with asking a series of questions. And all of those questions led me to where I am today.
Oh, man. It just fired me up, dude. I love it. You know, one of the things I was just thinking about too is, I don't know if you dealt with this when you were growing up, but at least when I was growing up, the circle of influence that I had, like becoming wealthy or becoming successful was actually technically seen as evil.
Yeah.
Like you were somehow going to be like, I don't know what, for lack of a better word, you are trading your life, like, you know what I'm saying, trading yourself. Did you run into that at all when you grew up as well?
I ran into it twice. I ran into it in the neighborhood I grew up in because I grew up in a working class community.
Yeah.
So even Ford, GM, and Chrysler, if you worked the plant, the doggone supervisor was the enemy. You know what I'm saying? He made more money. The CEO was probably the enemy because they made more money. And so these people became the enemy. Instead of us going, yo, look at these individuals, we can get there. We just starting here. So I kind of grew up with like, yo, you got to take pride in being middle class. You got to take pride in being in the working class. You got to take pride in wearing a hard hat, and the steel toe boots. You got to take pride in that. And it's like, yo, I'm not mad at you. I take pride in it. But at the end of the day, if the iPhone 4 started with the 4, now we're on the 14.
Yeah.
If technology is advancing, can I advance? Do I got to stay stuck in where we are? And then when I went to church, it was even worse. I got to church. I started, probably going to church heavy, late 16, early 17 years old. And the church was definitely on anybody with money is evil. But I found it funny that the few people that were rich in church, everybody looked up to them. And they got to make all the decisions. So I was like, this is weird. Y'all telling me that money is evil, but the doctors and the lawyers of our church, they seem to be making all the decisions and coming up with all the rules, and everybody look like they looking up to them. You feel me? And so I got to a point where I was like, I need to study this for myself. And when I study, as you know, I realized that the love of money is the root of all evil, not money itself. I realized like, oh, that just means you was evil already in the first place. And now you just got bread and it's just showing you were evil, or you are pursuing money as if it's a God. And I tell people this all the time, bro. Like, look, I listen to me. I respect money. I'm not going to say I love it. I'm not going to say that. I probably love people more than anything else in this world. But I respect money, though. I do respect it. And here's what I understand about it. People always ask me, E, you on this God stuff. So what you saying? I say, look, I'll be real. Get as much God as you can and as much money as you can. Like, you ain't got, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't got to choose. Go get a bunch of both of them. Why? Because money, when Didi was diagnosed with MS, we couldn't go to our bank and take out all our money and just ask them if we can go downstairs where the money is in the safe and let Didi roll around in it, and then them legions get off her brain. It don't work like that, bro. Now, could we use the money to get good insurance, and maybe get good health care? Yeah, but they still practicing. Like, they still don't know what they doing. Like, ain't no definite. Like, they don't know, all right, if we give you this and this and this, your body gonna react like this. They don't know. That's why them commercials always had a quick stuff at the end. You can cause cancer, it can cause big, you can be bleeding. I'm like, slow down on that stuff. But still gonna take it, but here are the side effects, this is the time where I need to go before the Lord in prayer. This is the time that I need to go to church. I got the key to the church. This is where I need to open the door, lock them, go up to the altar and cry my little face off and say, God, if you out there and you can hear me and you love me, Didi need help. Didi's done everything she possibly can to help me to get to where I am. And I don't want to share with another woman. I don't want to tell no other woman how good Didi was. I don't want to talk to my grandkids about, I wish Didi would have been alive. Your grandma, you would have had the best grandma. God, I don't want to do that. I want my grandkids to know they grandmama. I want the world to know Didi, and I want other women to see what Didi did and go, I need to support my man like that. She didn't cheer for me. She was Phil Jackson, right? So for me, bruh, money, it has its function. You can't go to the gas station and pray. I prayed for a full tank of gas. That costs money, but you have to put each one in their proper place. And if you put each one in their proper place and let each one of them do what they do, neither one of them is evil. They're only evil when misappropriated. And start, like, even God, if you're a fanatic and do God the wrong way, even that's bad. If you get everything God, like, bro, that ain't God. That's go take a test. That's gonna get certified. You know what I'm saying? That's not God. Ain't about to just put that information in your head. Now, if you read it, he may bring it to your remembrance, but he's not gonna put information in your head that you've never studied for. It just don't work like that. So both of them require you to use them effectively.
It's crazy to me. You just literally articulated how I was feeling when my wife first got diagnosed with all the health issues she's been battling, and how I felt in that moment about her. And then in some cases feeling a little bit helpless to help her, right? Other than just kind of watching, right, from the sidelines or taking her to appointments and stuff like that. And that's always been one of the hardest parts for me, dude. Thank you for that. Like all of that. Thank you. Seriously. I want to pivot for just a second. One of the things you say in here, let me see here. Excuses are the roadblocks to your aspirations. Excuses are the roadblocks to your aspirations. Like, let's walk through that. Cause you also made this other comment. You said nothing would work because you didn't want it to work. And I feel like a lot of people are stuck there.
You know, excuses are real. You know, a lot of times people are like, oh, E, you just act like life is just, I'm like, bro, didn't you read the book? Didn't you read the book? I didn't start off with, I got the excuse sweater, the mug. I've been to the conferences. You know, I at one point in my life, I was in the excuse Hall of Fame. I had the jacket.
I was right there beside you on the wall.
You feel me? Like, hey, E.T., they go, oh, E.T., he's made so many excuses. Yeah. But bruh, I started realizing that as significant as the excuses were, as real as they were. My mom got pregnant with me at 17. She was a baby. It's real, y'all. That's a real reason, you know what I'm saying, to look at life in a certain way. My father wasn't in my life. That's my biological father was not there for me. That's bruh. Somebody asked me when I was dealing with the publisher, they was like, you know, we got to edit. What's your father's, you know, what was your last name when you were? I was like, I don't have the slightest idea. I don't know what my name was. You gotta ask my mama. I don't know before, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's a real reason not to be successful, that you got a point in your life where you don't even know what your last name is. That's real, y'all. But listen to me. No excuse is realer than making my dreams become a reality. There is no excuse worth me not being able to get on a private jet if I want to. There's no excuse that's great enough for me not to fly first class. Bro, somebody was like, why you fly first class? Why you want to fly private? I don't want the
It's comfortable.
And I don't want the dude in the middle of the hookup between me and Didi, or I don't want, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know you've been on the plane before, and you know, before I was flying first class, and me and Didi was having a bomb conversation. And I was like, yeah, D, we're going to move to San Diego. My man like, what part of San Diego? I'm like, what? I wasn't even talking to you. How you get it? So for me, I just want to be alone with Didi. I want to sit with Didi. I don't know how many years we got left. You feel me? And so no excuse is worth Jalen not being able to go to college, Jada not being able to go to college, and me not having to worry about another man or institution deciding if my kid. I ain't tripping on the blessings of the government. But I don't want somebody reading a piece of paper go, oh, no, we're not giving Jalen no money to go to college. Nope, Jada don't deserve to go to college. Nope, I owe it to myself, my wife, my children, the people that I touch and influence. I owe it to them to be in control. So for me, excuses make you lose control. That's what they do. Excuses make you lose control. They make you lose control. Taking ownership and responsibility gives you control. And at the end of the day, bro, I just want to be in control. So for those of you who want to talk about your excuses and all of the roadblocks, you have the right to. They are real. And if you want them to dominate your life and control your life, you have the power. God has given us the power of choice. I'm just telling you, as a recovering excuse giver, my name is Eric Thomas, and I'm just trying to tell you that if I were you, I would get on the other side of excuses, because every dream and goal you have, stuff you couldn't dream of. I never dreamed of being able to chase the New York Times bestseller list. I was trying to get a GED, beyond all of your excuses and reasons. And you know what I'm talking about. Beyond all of them is the life you want to live.
Oh man, that's so good. No, I get so frustrated when people they're stuck in their own way. They're stuck in their own head, knowing that I used to be there with them. I'm like, no, do this, pivot here, try this. Don't give up, like all this kind of stuff. And I tell you, one of the things that came up was this accountability, responsibility thing you kind of just bled into, right? When that whole thing began to really take shape, I began to understand that I could reframe an excuse to become a marker of excellence. Like when you would talk with your dad, like we ironically both became homeless because of arrogance, anger, and pride. Right. And when I dug into that and you were like, you were going into the book, you're talking about you're not knowing your biological dad. And then later on, you're like, hey, but I had a man step up. He gave me his last name. He did this, he did that. And so many times we don't reframe in order to get the very thing that we're actually aiming for.
Yeah, bro. And let me just tell you, here's what's so spooky. Both of them are inside of you.
Yeah.
I'm being real. The ability to do both of them is inside of you when you choosing to go with the one, like you choosing to go with the one that's the most defeatist. Like you choosing to go with the one that is the most destructive. You choosing to go with the one that's going to destroy your whole life.
Yeah.
And then one day I woke up and was like, E, you losing with this way. It's just not working, E. And I woke up and was like, yo, you can look at the same situation in a positive way and you could get different results.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yo, E, you like, bruh, you look at what you got. Like look at what you have instead of looking at what you don't have.
Yeah.
Look at the blessing. And I, man, I just want to say this to those of you who are listening, do it quick because I made some changes, but I made them. I never used the word too late, but I didn't leverage some opportunities. Like I didn't leverage the man who raised me. I was just like, yo, bro, you ain't my daddy, bro. Like I was on that before I even found out because I always knew he wasn't.
Yeah.
You put me like, it was always something in me that was like, something not right about this situation. You know what I'm saying? And ain't nobody saying nothing, but so I blew what you could get from having a father. I blew that. Like, bro, left the crib, like, don't ever talk to me. I'm not talking to you. I went months without talking. I closed my heart. You feel me? And I put myself in a position where it's like, God gave you something and you didn't even take advantage of you didn't steward what God gave you because you was in your feelings. You weren't in facts. You weren't dealing with facts that he didn't lie.
Yeah.
That wasn't his responsibility to tell you who your dad. That was your mama's responsibility. He didn't lie. He actually took a very terrible situation and tried to make the most out of it for me. That's what he actually did. So I wasted all of 13 years I left the crib when I was 16, about 5, I'm talking what, 10 years that I blew, 11 years that I blew on some, bruh, you ain't my daddy. You can't tell me. So I'm just telling y'all, some of you are listening and you're going to eventually stop making excuses and you're going to eventually see a solution and not a problem. But I don't want you to wait and be like the person that put their money in the investment. Well, yeah, you made a little money, but you waited until the doggone thing was already taken off. So it took off, and so you put your money in it. Yeah, you're making a look, but had you gotten in the beginning, your stuff would you'd be making so much money. So sometimes it's not just about doing right; it's about doing it in enough time where you could get the benefits from it. Some people in their deathbed, oh baby, I'm sorry, I did you wrong, bruh. Like thank you for the transformation, but now you about to die. There's no benefit or reward we can get from this. So for those of you listening, do it quick, do it now, make the adjustments so you can make the rest of your life the best of your life.
Amen. Amen to that all day long. Yeah. Do you think, I mean, it's easy. I can answer the question from my personal experience, but do you think that we stay in victimhood because there is a gravitational pull moving to victory? Like there's things you have to bust through and levels you have to bust through. Is that what prevents us from moving on?
And I'd say yes, but I'd say deeper. Yes, because of the culture. I read something that said, like literally, bro, almost 80% of our thoughts are negative.
Yeah.
Like 80% of our thoughts are naturally negative.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be positive, like if you're going to be a victor, you're going to have to do some real work because the way the world is designed, the stuff on TV, negative. Like most of it's negative. The news, negative, bro. I'll be trying to watch the news and figure out, I'm like, yo, this ain't even news no more. This is like a soap opera. This like a...
It's exactly what it's stuff is,
This is soap opera, bro. Like, this ain't even news. Like, this is somebody's interest, and now I'm spending 30, 40 minutes on your interest. We're not even talking about what's really going on. Like, can I at least get the weather up in the show? Like, everybody understand what the weather is. Like, this is unbelievable. Yeah. So you see a lot of negativity, in the script. Everything is negative. And like positive is in spurts. You feel me? And so, yes, culturally, it's a lot of negativity and it's easier to just jump in with all the negativity.
Yeah.
But I owe it to myself not to allow the natural flow of life to rob me of the blessings that the Creator has for me. So I gotta go against the tide. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. Initially, absolutely, and you know this. Initially, yes, because you're going upstream.
Yeah.
But when you start doing it and it becomes a habit, it's actually harder to be negative. Once you get into the flow, like me and you on this podcast, and I've not been invited to no podcast with no negative bumps. Like they just don't, our frequency, we're not even on the same street. they don't see me, I don't see them. We're not on the same street. So yes, there's a natural bend toward that evil, negative, victim, woe is me, only seeing what's negative. I told somebody I was counseling with yesterday, I said, you got it so bad that you can walk into this house and they got one small pea problem under a vase and there's no other pea nowhere else. You will come in this room and you are automatically
find that one thing.
Your body will take you to that vase and you pick that vase up and see problem. You just have a natural inclination for negativity. And so, but once you start practicing and you start getting around people who are victors, I don't know how it worked, but I'm like, look at Tom Brady, like, how did the ball bounce that way? How did the ball bounce that way? How did they get an interception and it's a minute left and all he needs is a minute to go down? Like, how did he go down? How did he get 80 yards in 1 minute? Like, bro, like, how did they get in field goal position to kick the field goal and make it like, how does the Golden State keep winning the world? Like, how did this but once you get on any road of habitual, whatever it is, it just you attract and are drawn to that.
Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh. It's crazy. Back in May, it was my honor to host you and a bunch of our thought leader friends to come out and do an event together here in North Carolina. And one of the things that really stuck out with me during that time frame, and I picked up on it again when I was reading the book and here specifically, was this element on the importance of people in service. So for the audience, you guys don't know this, but one of the things that ET did specifically, nobody else did that was here to speak during that event, was he went ahead and left the green room and literally came back in the back of the room and sat in the back of the room to watch several other speakers in front of him, and actually feel the energy. And meanwhile, so ET's in the back of the room, the audience doesn't know he's back there and he's just vibing. He's just picking it up and picking it up and picking it up and picking it up. And then he comes out and closes the day with an explosion in speech, explosion in passion, explosion in heat. I'm curious, where did that love for other people and the importance of picking up on the vibe come from?
It came from realizing that all of us are here because of what somebody else did.
Yeah.
It is. For those who, of course, we're seeing what's happening right now, in Great Britain with, the loss of the Queen and how they're responding, but there was a time a group of people left there, and came to America to build what we know now as these 50 states, So when I get to go to San Diego, when I go to San Francisco, Miami, you got to understand that this infrastructure was built in somebody's head before it was even built, and then my ancestors coming over from Africa, being enslaved and what they went through to help build this country. It's like, bro, it was a lot of people that came over here and put in work and never got to benefit from that work.
True.
I'm not talking about people who work for some, CEO, work for some company and, he started something he benefited. No, I'm talking about the railroads was here long before you got here.
Yeah.
The highways and freeways was here long before the infrastructure for
industry as a whole.
Period. Was here long before you got here. We're benefiting from somebody else's dreams and somebody else's hard work. And because they had a path, we could have a dream. For real, back in the day, there were some folks that couldn't even have a dream because they had a path and they were working that path so we could have a dream. So for me, it's like, how dare you come into a world that was prepared for you? How dare you come into a world where hotels already exist? There are people, I fly, y'all, I fly. There are people who lost their lives trying to figure out how to get a plane in the sky. They literally lost their lives.
True.
They didn't have TVs. They didn't have telephones on the plane. They wasn't getting meals. You know what I'm saying? Like snacks. You know what I'm saying? They weren't. They flight attendants. There wasn't no flight attendant when the first jokers was trying to figure that joke out. It was no flight attendant. So silly of me to come into a place that was already established to put me in a situation where I can enjoy life and me not leave it better than when I came.
Yeah.
Selfish. So when I got here, it was sweet. So when I leave here, I'm gonna leave my footprint, and emotionally and mentally, people who need to be inspired, we're gonna leave something for you. As long as they got computers or some kind of way to get content, I'm going to leave a bunch of content, whether it's books, whether it's courses, whether it's audio, whatever it is. I'm going to do my part that wherever I go, I'm going to develop people and get them on this victor mentality. I'm going to make this world a better place before I get up out the jungle.
Oh, for sure. Well, you exude love, dude. And, you know, I think it's funny how we watch those that we admire just kind of in their daily life, right? So we finished the event. We have a great time getting everybody off to the airport. Went out with some mutual friends of ours to go have dinner after the fact. And we walk right in and somebody noticed you right away. E.T. Guys, he could have done the whole like, hey, it's nice to meet you. Shake your hand. Got it. No, he didn't do that. He actually went up and gave him a hug, gave him the picture, get him and talk to him for 10 or 15 minutes. Like, that's the kind of guy this guy is, right? So when he's trying to give you thought leadership, when he's trying to give you the principles that can lead you to your promises, when he's trying to lay out the steps one by one, you can rely on what he's saying is true. Not only has he done it, he's done it for thousands of other people routinely, consistently. I want to know, why was now the time to write UOU? Why is now the time when in all the other things that you've done? Why is now the time?
Because I could simplify the blueprint. I can simplify it now and to just UOU. Like I know I know what's been missing. I see what you own. Like I see why you can't break through. UOU. I get it. You think it's everybody else's responsibility to bless you. And a little bit in America, depending on, people call it what they want to call it. But there are times in this country where you are being blessed, right? And you can sit back and wait for somebody else to bless you. It's like, somebody sent me a check. It's like, okay, it ain't nothing wrong with that. But the challenge is you got to wait, and you got to wait for them to tell you how much it's going to be. I found another way where you could produce your own checks.
And multiply them.
Right. And you could be your own ATM machine.
Yeah.
You feel me? And meaning that, like you said, multiply and produce them at will. And so since I see you so excited about these checks, I want to show you that there's another way to get a check other than have to wait on another adult to give you one. And you owe you to be able to do that. So that was the number one reason. The other reason we didn't self-publish this time, because I realized, just being honest with yourself at this structure, this stage of your life, you don't have a machine to get the book to everybody that needs it.
Yeah.
Your people can't be mailing to Africa and we did it.
Yeah.
We had books that we sent to Australia, books we mailed to Africa. It probably cost them about $80.
$100 to send a $20 book. I did it too.
So I had to humble myself. We talked about that earlier. Pride, ego, anger. I had to humble myself and say, it's not about you and you holding on to more money when you self-publish. Now it's about the people that you serve, and you don't have the capacity to serve them. You're not scaled to that level yet. And so you need to go with a publishing company that has the machine that can get it to Africa, that can get it to Australia, that can get it to the world.
No, man. Look, and here's the cool thing. So I was asking myself as I was reading it myself, I was like, all right, so who is this book for? And the answer that kept popping up for me is anyone trying to get to another level, period, another gear. I'll tell you this why. Had I had this book when I was homeless, I could have been a little further along. Had I had this book when I busted through the $10 million ceiling, I could have used it. I'm telling you right now, as I'm all over top of the 9-figure ceiling currently, all over top of it, I picked up things in this book that I didn't yet know that are taking me to another level, thanks to you and Dee Dee and CJ and all the people that have come alongside of you to get this out of you into the public, right? This is not a book. This is a playbook, a strategical manual on how to make your dreams absolutely come true. This book ain't playing. I'm telling you right now, it is a one-of-a-kind read that you've got to pick up for yourselves. one of the things that I took away in the book that I've actually jotted down and written on my mirror now is knowledge is currency. Knowledge is currency. Tell me about how knowledge is currency, brother.
Knowledge is the new money. Get you some.
Yeah.
And let me tell you why. Because I used to think working was the currency. I used to think, because that's all I knew in Detroit. People going to work and then they getting a check. And I started realizing, no, learning how to turn what you've done in terms of ministry into money so you can bless more people. And I'm going to be honest, like, I'm just now getting to the point in my brain and in my work where getting close to 10 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, I look back like, yo, bro, for all the content and all the stuff you put out on the earth, you should have easily been at $100 million. But I wasn't on knowledge. I was on ministry. And I'm not saying anything wrong. I'm not saying my spot in heaven ain't going to be there. But I know God got to be looking at me going, yo, you could have done more. You could have done more, son. But because you were one-dimensional and all you thought about was ministry, I told you in the word, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and render unto God what is God. All you cared about was giving me what was mine. And if you're going to do one or two, I'm sure God, like, I'm grateful you're on the side of me, but I didn't tell you to err on the side of me. I told you to render what is unto Caesar what is Caesar's. And you haven't given Caesar's his. And what is Caesar? Caesar is business opportunity.
Yeah.
So before, all I knew was ministry because I was raised by workers. And so workers never told me about opportunities to make millions. They were working. They never told me, just don't use your hand, use your mind. And so now, of course, it's like, oh, okay, I can help you and help myself at the same time with a book, with courses, right? With starting other businesses with the individuals that I work with taking a commission for the people that I help and blow up, for starting industries that are you already started them, E. You already building speakers. You need a speakers bureau. Like, you're already building, you can pick it. And so for me, knowledge is the new money is just saying that you can use this and not just this.
Yeah.
Or you can use this in addition to this and this. And a lot of us got this and this, but we've never used this. And I'll be honest with you, you can actually do more in terms of impact and influence with this than you can with this.
All day
and so
long.
when I look at the people who are doing well financially, most of them are not doing this.
Yeah.
Most of them are doing this. And so that's what I mean when I say knowledge is the new money. And not just getting a degree. That's not what I mean. I went and got a degree because I realized I wasn't tapped into knowledge. And the university is one of the places that you can get tapped into quickly and start getting around speakers, professors, books, conferences. All that stuff happens on the campus of MSU. Michigan State was always doing that. So once I tapped into that knowledge, then I was able to tap into my individual knowledge. So that's why I said, not just money, making money from your hands or hustling, but there's a way to make money here. And I'll be honest with you, I like that one more because that one produces a freedom that this one doesn't produce.
Yeah, I think it goes back to that the little boy in scripture giving Jesus a fish and 2 loaves, right? Or what I'm saying? That's how you multiply it. You turn over your hands to your heart, to your head, you give it to him, let him take it all and let him do his thing with it. You got time for one more question?
Oh, the floor is yours.
Well, look, one of the things that, I run across people all the time, and especially when I was growing up, everybody's praying for a miracle. And their miracle is, I got a miracle to get my rent paid, miracle to get a better job, miracle to get out of this relationship or get into this relationship, miracle to, like, any number of different things. And one of the things that you put in there that really talked to my heart was miracles are the product of intent. Miracles are the product of intent. And at least for me, one of the things that I took from that is this element of my miracles are a product of me tapping into source. Like, talk to me a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
And you could create miracles. You know what I'm saying? People sitting here waiting on them. It's like, that's not how it goes. Like, you can actually produce miracles. And how do you produce miracles? By, again, being proactive, being intentional, deliberate, by knowing what you want. You'd be shocked how clarity produces way more miracles than not knowing what you want to do. Like, how's somebody going to bless you when you don't even know what you want. Like, how am I supposed to
Yeah.
bless you? How am I supposed to look out and look after you, right? So I'll never forget the first miracle formula, not miracle, the first miracle formula. I was working at the Olive Garden, and it was good money for that time. It allowed me to be able to eat and take care of my, my family, and Dee Dee and I. And we were in college, or she was in college. I was at college, not in, you know me? And I was at Olive Garden, and I loved to work. Like, I wasn't tripping. I was a host. I loved smiling and serving people. I wasn't even know I was a bus boy. I wasn't even and I was a host, bus boy host. I wasn't getting paid to host. I was getting paid to bus boy, but I host because I was good at it.
Yeah.
And I served too, because people were like, just my company. So they'd be like, can you serve? I'm like, long as you don't drink alcohol, I can serve you. It was like, all right, I was about 19 at the time, 20, and I didn't serve alcohol, period. But I was too young at the time to do it. And so I'll never forget, my car broke down and I was devastated, and I was like, man, I got to get to work. These people, like, they used to fire you back then, like, off the little stuff. And I'll never forget, my boy Bob was like, yo, I thought you said you had to go to work. I said, I do, but the car broke. He said, and? I said, the car broke. I need a ride. He said, you could get one. I said, how? He said, well, you can't get one from sitting on the couch.
That's a true friend.
You can't get one from being in this apartment complex.
Yeah.
Like you can't get one from being here. What you're going to have to do is you have to start walking to work. Bruh, it revolutionized my faith and what I thought about a miracle. And it was like, yo, you got to put yourself in miracle territory. In your house, on your couch, fully dressed with the Olive Garden boy on. I had the full Olive Garden boy on. I had
a couple little chocolate mints in your pocket.
Bro, I had my apron in my hand. Bro, I was ready. And Bob was like, yo, you got to go. You got to go, bro. You got to go walk. And I'll never forget walking. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say, man, I don't know if it's Sparkman. I want to say it was Sparkman. I started walking up Sparkman. And as I was walking up the hill in Sparkman, Olive Garden was on University. As I was walking up the hill, and Alabama's warm. It's warm in Alabama. I was walking up the hill.
It's not warm, it's hot.
Yeah, it's hot, bro. Somebody saw me, and they picked me up and took me to the Olive Garden. And I knew from that day forward, it's going to take a miracle. But it's going to take a miracle. But in order for a miracle to happen, you got to be in miracle territory. And all that means is you are helping yourself by not just wishing and wanting, but you are taking action and making the moves that you can make.
Yeah.
Right. I believe this with all my heart. I believe this. I know y'all might be like, I don't know. I believe that there's some things that God can do, and I believe there's some things He wants us to do.
Yeah.
I don't believe He's not going to do it all. And the things that we can do, we got to get to doing those things.
That's
and
right.
Those things are the things that I believe is an indicator to the Creator, although He knows man's heart.
Yeah.
I just mean, like, He know you serious when you're willing to get up and you're willing to go walk. And now He's in a position to go, hey, my son is walking. Somebody go this way. And when you're going that way, look here. And when you look there, don't be scared of a little teenager who trying to get to work, put him in the whip. Because some people, bro, older people, like, they don't believe in picking people up off the street or whatever. But I also think miracle territory, I also think people kind of trusted that you just wouldn't put an Olive Garden outfit on. You know what I'm saying?
That's good. Yeah, because they don't normally make that costume at the costume stores. I'm so good that you mentioned that, because I don't know if you know this or not, but just before COVID came out, there was an article that came out and said that it was enough wealth in the profession Christian community as a whole to solve hunger, solve trafficking, solve pretty much every need that we're constantly praying, please solve, please solve, please solve. And then I heard Bishop Jake say one time, he said, a lot of times when you pray, God doesn't give you a table. He gives you the acorn to turn into a tree, to turn into the table. Right. So I was just thinking through that. I was like, man, that's miracle territory. That's putting yourself in a position to be blessed and highly favored, rather than just thinking you'll be blessed and highly favored while you're eating potato chips. Yeah, right.
Hey, that book is called You Owe Me.
Yeah. Oh,
that book is called You Owe Me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to write that one. I'm gonna let somebody else make that a bestseller. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna read yours all day long. I don't know if I want to read the other one.
You know what I'm saying? But somebody out there is gonna write You Owe Me.
Yeah.
And that's not the that's not the book I chose. I owe me to leverage every blessing that God has put on this earth.
Yeah.
For me, I owe it to myself, my creator, everybody that loves me, the people that I love and I serve. I owe it to everybody to understand it's already there.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with a God, he don't do stuff today. It was when he was doing what he was doing, he did it.
That's right.
He already did it.
That's
He's not doing it today. He already did it.
That's right.
And he's saying it's the gifts are there. Now, y'all all know on Christmas, you've always had a loved one or somebody that maybe at some point didn't show up to the house, but their gift was still there.
Yeah.
If nobody else couldn't open it, and it wasn't for nobody else, and if nobody else bet not open it, it was for that person. But for whatever reason, they couldn't get home for Christmas. They couldn't make it. But if they came in January, it was there waiting on them. February, it was there waiting on them. It was there. I'm talking about before UPS and FedEx was shipping stuff. That gift was, if Eric don't come home, because he down in Alabama, this is his gift. And when I would finally make it home, that gift will be waiting for me. I'm telling y'all, the creator has already boxed your stuff.
Amen.
He's already owed your stuff. He already got all your stuff. And he can't open it for you, though.
That's right.
He can't open it for you. It wouldn't be sweet if he opened it. It's for you to open. And so I'm just saying, you owe it to yourself to get every single gift. If you got to drive through the snow, if you got to go rain, sleet, snow, if you got to go trains, planes, and automobiles, I mean, whatever you got to get through traffic, you got to get through whatever.
Yeah.
You owe it to yourself to get every single blessing that's got your name on it.
Amen. Well, the Bible says those that seek find, right? So if you're not seeking, you ain't finding nothing. Dude, I love you to death, and I love your heart. I love everything that you've brought into this world. I've got this copy. I went ahead and got the Audible copy. So I get to listen to you while I read you. Because I need this to highlight, because I can't highlight an Audible, right? But I went ahead and got both. Everybody needs to pick it up. Is there a particular place that you want to send everybody to pick up the book?
I just think it makes sense. If you don't know where to go, go to ericthomas.com. We got some phenomenal gifts for you. Actually, I'm super excited about this. September 29th, Memphis, Tennessee. I've never been there before. We're starting there with our book tour, and it's not for grown folk. All right, not that you're not going to get nothing out of it, but I gave my men, the 360 conference in Atlanta, right? My ladies, I gave you the 120 in Chicago, all right?
Yeah.
We had Tab, Lisa, Jen. I gave other phenomenal. Now it's time for the babies. And because suicide is at an all-time high, lack of identity and self-worth, because our children are struggling with purpose and direction, this tour is for them. Parents, absolutely. You're welcome to come. I'm going to make your job easier as a parent. But please, Memphis, Tennessee is the first one. Then I think Atlanta, October 2nd, 7th. So all they need to get in is a copy of the book. So if you got 3 babies coming, all 3 would need the book. But come on, you're talking about $20. And let's be honest, between you and I do, when I get to charge what I charge, guys, it's $100,000.
Oh, easy day. Easy, all day long.
So you $25, whatever it is, times 3 is $75 or $100 if you come. So get them the book, get in the building, and let's talk to your babies and give them some, let's give them something that many of them don't know how to find on the internet. That's help.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
So looking forward to ericthomas.com. Go there and get it. Again, if you don't know where to go there. And sometimes be careful before you go to a store, call or drive there, call on the way, because a lot of the Barnes and Nobles have sold out. And
that's because the book's that good. Just putting that out there.
I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful.
Right. Well, the other thing too is, the book is a legacy that outlives us, right? So it'll be here long after we're gone. But I'm telling you right now, this will be something that somebody reads probably again and again for probably the first year. And then you're going to watch this book be like that. You ever seen that, heard of that TV show about the traveling pants where it just travels all over the world? That's what this one is for sure. All day long, dude.
Praise God. Well, I thank you. And again, not for the podcast, praise God for that, but there's some people you meet and it's like, yo, I got to stay in touch. And it's so funny. One of the most important things for me, which is my church, you know, and getting it renovated. You know, we just had so many people coming. I was like, nah, let me call my guy, y'all. You know, and I'll be honest, I got some flack. It was people, we don't know him. I'm like, okay, I know his heart. People you know, you don't know their heart. You don't even know they work because they never done no work for you before. I said, if I'm gonna fail, I'm gonna fail with a man with a heart, with integrity, you know, with a man that wants to help. I'm like, I'm good on that. So I'm just so grateful that in chapter 2, you're never alone.
That's right.
You're never alone. If you're alone, it's because you chose to be. And on this journey, I have people, right, who are supporting me and helping me get to that next level. And this is one of them. So you guys better read the book, not just for your own personal wealth, but when you become wealthy and healthy, these are the type of people you attract. And a lot of y'all attracting people that are not healthy. And it's because you're not healthy. And so I'm saying, get the book, get healthy, so you can get a community of healthy people. And don't you ever for 1 minute clunk people into all these people. It's not the truth. But there are a lot of people who share my values, and God is bringing all those people to me. I feel like, you know, the Marvel. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the Marvel boy. I feel like the X-Men. I'm not on the Solo. I feel like the Professor, and I got all these superheroes. You know, I got Wolverine, Storm. Like I got Cyclops. I got a bunch of individuals who are helping me conquer, you know, the world in my journey. So you're never alone. As we close, don't believe the hype. You are never ever alone. God has left a family for you, and you better tap in.
I can't say it any better than that, brother. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I love you to death. If there's anything I can do to help you win and move this needle forward, you holler at me.
You know I'm gonna call you.
Awesome. All right, dude. Well, take it easy. See you, buddy. I hope you liked that video. And if you did, make sure you check out this next video right here.
Just because you're profitable does not mean that that's what's in the bank. Profit is not the same as cash management. You have to keep your business expenses and your business bank account separate from your personal bank account.